Yes, it is. Well, good morning. Welcome back to the tavern and the Oasis. This is November 29th, 2020, and we are a long ways into the Rona now. Sooner or later, they're going to shut it down. The scam is coming apart at the seams. At any rate, don't have a whole lot to do. I did a few things in the Oasis yesterday. We'll take you on a brief tour to show you the new items that I've added to it, to see how it's coming along. It's basically, as I filmed out a couple of the things I did yesterday, training videos and etc. I might even put up the fireside chats I did. Depends on how they sound when I go back to listen to them. But there's a lot of stuff that I've been up to. It seems like I'm doing nothing, but I am actually getting things accomplished. I did some cleanup, organization. You know, basically it's winter time, and that's when you do all your organization, is in the winter time. You settle down, organize things up, plan for next year so that your next year goes smoother than the year before. It doesn't always work that way, but that is the ultimate goal. That's where we're going to go with it. And what I'm going to do is give you a brief tour around the Oasis, show you it. I don't have a whole lot else to say this morning, and it is Sunday. I got to head back in a few hours, get back down south where it's actually a bit warmer. It's amazing, you know, 100 kilometers and the difference in temperature is like 10 degrees. It's always kind of interesting that way. But again, this is higher elevation here, and we are near the forest, so we're not near the ocean where it's warmer. Anyway, let's take a tour of the Oasis and showcase a few things. Let's go for a tour. Let's go walk underneath. Here. So I've cleaned this area up a bit. Not as clean as I need to. I've still got to spread all that dirt out and level out in here. So I got to move out one side completely. But I got a lot of it done yesterday. Then you've got this area here. Now this is the big one. I don't know how well it's coming out on camera, but this is my first of three high towers, high tunnels, growing tunnels. So that's the first of three. It turns out I thought I'd bought myself enough T-poles, but I didn't. So I couldn't do the other two. I would have done the other two yesterday. And you can see the grading down there for it. The video for it is online. This area here is all cleaned up. You know, we've got a whole lot happening here. You know, dead ahead, you might catch the trail cam I've set up to sort of see if I can catch the deer getting into the yard. I think he's coming from there, but we'll never know until I let it run for a week. Let's see. So other than that, nothing else in this area. I didn't do any cleanup over here. Okay. Then we've got, I dug up and transplanted my, not huckleberries, but yeah, maybe they are huckleberries. Have to take a look. But I finished off my trellises. You can see two trellises set up for my tomatoes. This is all done and prepared for next year. So I'm going to be growing 16 tomato plants in this full sun. I'll probably put some in pots too. I'll have lots of tomatoes growing all over, along with pepper plants. All my pepper plants will be potted this year. I bought these big cloth bags. See these cloth bags down here? They're really great cloth bags. They work really well. They hold a lot of dirt. These are my blueberries, not my huckleberries, my blueberries. I got two blueberry bushes. Of course, they didn't do anything last year because of where they were. They got smothered by the other crops. So I dug them up, transplanted them. I've got that done. That's really it. The rest of the Oasis, I did some work in turning over my compost dirt so I can start to turn over this piles and fetch it all out and get the dirt underneath and get it into the dirt area. You know, moved a few things around. Basically, it was just a lot of whatever out here. Now, the most amount of stuff I did was in the greenhouse yesterday. You know, I've been working at different ways to try and get this greenhouse a little warmer. Currently, I'm using a bit of a space heater to help me out. Okay, and this is the greenhouse area. You can see I've got lights set up there, and over there for the moment. That's temporary till I get the other bench here. And I'll have them on both sides, and those will be my plant starter areas for January. As I mentioned, I think I'm getting some heating pads that will allow me to heat the soil up a little bit to encourage the growth, because of course it'll be late January before I start growing everything. Right now I'm just trying to prep as much as I can. I've cleaned up a lot of stuff, organized a lot of stuff. So that's really all we have for the Oasis right now, and I'll throw on another video from something I did yesterday at this end, because there's not a whole lot to do today. I won't be doing a lot of work. It'll be just pittering around in the greenhouse and other miscellaneous stuff. So that's all I've got. Hopefully that's much better for everyone, and since I used a proper holder for my camera, maybe the footage is more stable, because it's been rather unstable. I can't hold the camera manually. It's just who I am. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later.
At the Eventide Convalescent Center, every third Saturday, Dad and I would go eat dinner with Aunt Opal, who was 88. I was picking at my food when an old black man sat down at the table by me. He looked me in the eye and said, "How do you do? My name's Cushionberry." Said I was born in an all-black town in Kansas called Nicodemus. In World War II was an army medic, then settled in Topeka. I was fortunate to have a good mama and dad who taught me all about God's grace. The same way, son, that yours have, or you wouldn't be here today. You can always find someone that's got it worse. Help them if you can. God put us on this earth to help our fellow man. If you go out of your way to help somebody, you'll return the favor. 'Cause the time we spend's just paying rent for God's little half acre. He said for years I gave away food and clothes, had a Christian mission store, had a sign that read, "For the needy, not the greedy," that hung above the door. I like to think I gave hope and dreams to folks who didn't have any. Son, I saw things that just shouldn't be here in the land of plenty. You can always find someone that's got it worse. Help them if you can. God put us on this earth to help our fellow man. If you go out of your way to help somebody, you'll return the favor. 'Cause the time we spend's just paying rent for God's little half acre. 3 weeks passed, I went back, they told me he had died. Mumbling something about a little piece of ground waiting on the other side. You can always find someone that's got it worse. Help them if you can. God put us on this earth to help our fellow man. If you go out of your way to help somebody, you'll return the favor. 'Cause the time we spend's just paying rent. To this day I think of him, visiting with all his friends on God's little half acre.